Round of applause for the drum line, guys.
Hoo boy, hello and welcome to my first day of E3 2017 coverage. I couldn't be less excited. EA really dropped the ball. I wasn't really looking forward to them because of last year, but I had my hopes, I had my fingers crossed because of Star Wars. I wanted so much Star Wars so badly. And it's not like there wasn't some good little hidden gems in there, but it was like 5 minutes, well, maybe 10 minutes of good footage in a midst of like the most uncomfortable press conference I've ever watched. Just cringe after cringe after cringe. It was insane. First of all, they began with this drum opening that kind of led nowhere except into Madden 18. It felt like they were trying to do a Sony thing, but in a very, very cheap way. The entirety of EA's press conference felt unrehearsed, like they were scrambling together, and the big focus this year, instead of having developer diaries from developers, they decided to focus on influencers or YouTubers, streamers, etc. And the vibe from them just felt so unreal, which is a weird thing for me to say as I am on YouTube. But I am a journalist first and a video maker, producer second. So I don't really consider myself a YouTuber in quotes, but whatever, that's semantics. So I guess you could say I'm a little out of touch from that particular group set. I didn't recognize anybody. I do know some YouTube people out there, like the very, very big names, and none of these people except for iJustine at the very end did I recognize. And then there was the Men in Blazers, which is a huge FIFA thing. I'm kind of going all over the place, but I mean, really, EA's press conference was kind of all over the place, so it's, you know, par for the course, let's say. So I guess let me just, there's a lot of bad stuff. There's a lot of just awkward talking and pacing and pauses and really lame jokes. But that's all the bad stuff. Let me just talk about some of the things that were announced. I'm not going to go over any sports stuff because I'm not a sports guy at all. I am interested in the Name of the Tsar, which is a DLC expansion for Battlefield 1, moving everything onto the Eastern Front. That seems cool. I really actually liked Battlefield 1. That was actually the second Battlefield I ever really kind of got into. I liked Hardline a lot, even though a lot of people didn't. But I love the whole stealth arresting people thing. It was stupid. It was a stupid game, but a lot of fun at the very same time. So yeah, and Battlefield 1 looked gorgeous. I liked the campaign, what they had there. And going into the Eastern Front, I think that could be pretty cool. I even liked Need for Speed Payback, even though I'm not really a car guy at all. I kind of put it somewhere in the sports categories of things, but it did look pretty cool, very pretty, kind of fast-paced action, very Fast and the Furious, so I may check that out a little bit. The one game that was like the first that floored me, actually got me really excited, was A Way Out, which is an indie game from the studio that made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. And the director, which the name is blanking me right now, he actually felt genuine. He was the only person that I felt was really pouring their heart and soul into like this press conference, and I believed everything he said. He was very charismatic. I loved Brothers so much, and A Way Out looks awesome. I can't wait to play that. Hopefully I can find a co-op partner to do that entire thing with, because it does sound like a very unique game to do that with. Then of course we had that quick teaser for BioWare's new IP, which I can't really say anything about. I guess I'll talk more about it when Microsoft shows off more. I mean, there's nothing really to say. There was a giant beast and a wall and some armor. That's it. And of course we had Star Wars Battlefront II closing out the show, where they talked about how they're implementing a story mode, but they didn't really show any story mode. They pretty much just focused about talking about how all the DLC is going to be free, which is going to be, you know, all multiplayer stuff, and they had a live demo of the multiplayer, which they made such a big deal of talking about the story mode, and then they go into showing off the multiplayer, which is something people liked from the last game, but it just felt like a weird switcheroo kind of thing. Maybe they're going to have that at Sony's press conference, since I think they have a deal exclusive with PS4 for content or something other. So yeah, that was EA. So they had some really cool stuff, but I mean, like I said, 10 minutes of good stuff in a sea of just awkward chaos. So I'm going to give this press conference, probably I'm gonna give it a 2. EA wanted to be this little indie company, you know, getting back to the players, but they're this giant corporation, and so everything felt, you know, untruthful. And it's kind of like, guys, you have the money, you need to put on a show. Even though this is technically during E3, it's part of E3, guys, so you need to spend a little bit of money. Yeah, and that's that. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Did you know that was a Reaction Examiner video? If you liked it, you should subscribe to me to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Also, if you have some other interests, like sex for example, check out Tomops, which is a comedy sex podcast thing wherein my best friend and I check out the weird and abnormal and the erotic. And of course, you should support me on Patreon because, hey, I want to make the channel better and I want your help to do so. Plus, if you want to check out my writing, check out Game Jerk, where I have archives and new stuff for all projects, okay? You can find all the stuff and more in the description with the links below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.